Coach Lance here with CFSJ's Inside the Box. Whether you have tight times or tight spaces, we've got you covered. What you're about to follow along with is a 1-hour class shrunk into a 10-minute video. How do we do it? We create pause points, we write out equipment lists, and we give you substitution options to where there is zero thought on your part. So whether you have a hotel room, a hotel gym, or you're lucky enough to be outside, we're going to give you that great CFSJ feel when you're not at CFSJ. So let's take a look at the equipment list. Most of the times fairly minimal, and a lot of times you can substitute these things for things you have around your house, whether it be a water bottle or a filled up backpack. So let's go ahead and grab your phone, let's check out this equipment list, and let's get going. Every class, we're going to start off with 2 minutes of cardio. Now, if you're lucky enough to have a bike or a rower or a treadmill or the outside, let's go ahead and do 2 minutes of rowing or jogging or biking. If you don't have that, then let's start off with some jumping jacks, some step back burpees, some double unders, or some other method of your choice that you can do in the tight space that you're in. If you need a suggestion, let's go ahead and do step back burpees. The thing I love most about step back burpees is they hit everything at once. So instead of making this a dynamic, we're going to make this a very slow, grindy kind of movement, stepping back, engaging that plank on the way forward, driving those hips open, getting that nice hinge and that hamstring stretch, and working the plank and the push-up. By the time you've done about 15 of these, everything is ready. Now again, it's your choice, so let's go ahead and start those 2 minutes now. With that cardio out of the way, let's get going on today's dynamic warm-up. Our 4 movements are in line with getting the upper body warmed up and activated for the severe amount of overhead movements that we have both in the strength and in today's WOD. Let's start off with 10 arm circles. Forwards and backwards. Keep the shoulder blades back, small circles, small rotations. We're trying to get the shoulder sockets open and working in our direction. Next, we're going to go 10 inchworms with 2 scapular push-ups. Now, if you notice, it's a long forward fold, keeping the hamstrings long. Even if you can't get all the way down to the floor on your forward fold on these first couple of reps, let's go ahead and reach towards the shin before giving up and bending the knees. Next, we have 10 Samson stretches. These are going to be alternating. The big move here is to keep that back knee off the ground, to keep that hip active. And finishing off that upper body with 10 twisted crosses. Reminder, keeping the face down, bringing the left hand into the left armpit, crossing the left leg over the body as you push hard into that right shoulder. If this is an early stretch, let's give these first 2 or 3 repetitions gentle and only go 50%. You're going to do 10 of these before moving on to the activation scene. However, like always, if you feel like you need just a little bit more, go ahead and pause and give me some more reps, or even better, if you found something that's worked as well, go ahead and do that. See you at the activation. Today's activation, mainly working towards the upper body, getting everything ready for the amount of upper body that we have in today's workout, are 2 movements, planks with shoulder taps and prone swimmers. Watching Coach Devin, we're going to start off in a 30-second plank, and during that 30-second plank, we're going to go 10 alternating shoulder taps. While the arms are moving, the hips are not. The challenge on here is to keep the core from twisting, the hips from dropping. Take your time on this. If this is something new or hard for you, go ahead and slow the rate down. If you have to break up the plank to do 5 and 5, let it be. Next, we've got the prone swimmers. This is a scapular retraction movement. So let's go ahead face down, starting with hands overhead, sweeping around, keeping hovering off the ground, finishing off behind the back. The trick to this is to not turn this into a Superman. Don't lift the chest off the ground. You're going to end up cheating those shoulders just a little bit. Keep the face pointed down, keep the hands hovering, and keep the hands off the ground by bringing the shoulder blades together. Now, as always, we're going to do 2 rounds of this. If it makes more sense to rewind and follow Coach Devin again, go ahead and do so. Otherwise, press pause, and we'll see you back at strength. Today's strength is an upper body development day. The good part is there's no weights needed. We're going to be working on handstand push-ups or progressions to get us in shape for handstand push-ups. Our intermediate advanced version is a 2-minute, 6-round, 3 to 5 strict handstand push-ups followed by a 10 to 15 second handstand hold. If you don't have it, we're going to go 1 to 3 wall walks followed by a handstand hold. Now again, if that's even a little too advanced for you, we're going to be working pike from the box, and we're going to show you all of these variations. Let's go ahead and watch Coach Devin demonstrate first the handstand push-up. Pretty straightforward here. There are 2 versions of the handstand that are going to be acceptable. The first, and what is RX, is the strict handstand push-up. Similar to a shoulder press, we're going to get the hands in the right position, just around the shoulders, trying to keep a tight core. This is going to be all strength. Today, either you have it or you don't. If you do have a kipping, bringing the knees down to the hips, kicking the heels to the sky, using a little bit of hip and lower body momentum to help out with the shoulders, totally acceptable. It's better progression to go ahead and work those kipping than necessarily jumping right back down to a box if you have the kipping. Now, wall walks work as well, surprisingly taxing on the shoulder. Let's go ahead and watch Coach Devin here. Starting off with a plank, maintaining that plank as we're slowly walking the feet and the hands at the same time up the wall. We're going to go 1 to 3 reps here. 1 is on the doable side, 3 is on the challenging side. If you're able to do 3 wall walks, you're probably getting closer to being able to do a handstand push-up. Now, in either scenario, as soon as you finish with that last rep, you're going to go right into a 15-second handstand hold. Now, if either of these is just a little too much, let's go ahead and grab a chair and work our pike holds. Again, working a true pike to where the hands are directly under the shoulders and not turning this into some sort of elevated push-up. Now we're going to have 6 rounds of these every 2 minutes. So let's go ahead and set our timer. If you need to review the videos one more time to feel comfortable, go ahead and do so. My suggestion here is if you're in someone's house, maybe go ahead and do it without shoes. No sense leaving bad attitude and shoe marks on the wall. All right, let's go ahead and set our timer for 2 minutes and begin. Let's talk about today's Metcon. Today's workout, Killer Frost, is a 5 by 2 minute AMRAP. Each AMRAP is a couplet of double unders and push jerks. This is an all-out sprint. Now, I'll get to the format in just a few minutes, but let's talk about the movements today. Because it is such a short AMRAP and so fast, 75 double unders may not be doable for a lot of people. If you feel like you're going to spend the entire 2 minutes doing the 75 double unders, what I want you to do is drop to 1.5 the number of singles. I want this to be fast, and maybe even faster. So 110, 115 singles, followed by 15 push jerks. Now, if you're lucky enough to have access to a barbell, the RX is 115 pounds for men, 75 pounds for women. If you don't, and you have a dumbbell or a kettlebell, we're going to go 16, 8 each arm, with the heaviest implement that you can get, a 35, a 45, maybe even a 55. All right, so let's watch Coach Devin demonstrate the different variations of push jerk. Reminder here that this is all hip. It's going to tax your shoulders, especially coming right off of those double unders. But what we're looking for is a serious dip, keeping the torso upright, a full extension of the hip. As the barbell is going up, becoming weightless, a quick drop under and a redip. So you're ending off into a partial squat before standing. Make sure that as form degrades that you're still actually focusing on that push jerk. Pretend that this is a competition style WOD, that you're looking to not get no rep. So put the entire focus on those 15 push jerks. For most of us, we're going to be lucky to get through one full round of this. Now, the format of today's workout is a 2-minute AMRAP followed by a 4-minute rest recovery time. We don't usually see so much rest. So what this tells us is that the idea is that we need to go fast each time, and we're getting a 2-to-1 rest ratio. This is very classic to how sprinters actually train. So this is absolutely a sprint, and 2 minutes is about the time of like a good 400, or if you're really top-notch, Fran, not for most of us. So the intention for today's workout is to pick a weight and a modification for the double unders that don't let you stop. Again, if 2 minutes is probably going to be the right amount of time for us to get one round, maybe getting back to the double unders if we're lucky, and then using those 4 minutes to really let the muscles come back, let the cardiovascular system come back, probably doing something like some deep diaphragmatic breathing, inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth, trying to get the midsection and the core back in our control instead of that panic, hyperventilating kind of breathing. Not a whole lot to this. You need to pick a timer. You're going to set it for 6 minutes. The first 2 are going to be your work. The next 4 are going to be your rest. You're going to go so fast that if you don't have that timer in front of you, you're not going to pay attention and you're going to miss it. So let's go ahead and set our timer. Let's get our playlist set to something saucy. And let's begin. 3, 2, 1.